Now for this panel, I would like to call upon Ms. Tanya, Chaitanya, CEO, Her Circle, Mr. Chirag, Bhandari, founder and CEO, Ennoble Social Innovation Foundation, Ms. Mitali S. Hough, Senior Vice President and Planning Head for McCann, Mumbai, Mr. David Wittenberg, Professor of Entrepreneurial Innovation, ISME School of Management, Entrepreneurship, Atlas SkillTech University, Ms. Radhika Bajoria, founder, Radically Yours, Ms. Nabanita Banerjee, founder, V Foundation. And to moderate this panel, we have none other than Mr. RAJESH Das, Head Group CSR, Hindware Group. Let's give them a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
A very good afternoon to all of you. I'm blessed to have such a talented panel members along with me. When you go through their profiles, when you go through their experiences, when you try to learn what they have done in their respective fields, it gives me immense pleasure to invite all of them, and it's a blessed time for me also to moderate this panel. So before going to the panel discussion, I just wanted to share some key aspects what we are going to talk about. In CSR, the spending of the corporates is increasing significantly since last 5 years. If we talk about the data, since last 5 years, it has gone by 13% of CSR. And if we talk about, compare about last year's data, from 2021 to 2022, the financial year, we have gone up to 5%. And slowly and steadily, the government, the PSUs, the private sectors, they are expanding their CSR spending substantially. Many companies are going beyond the 2% of mandate, and they love to do that. With this note, I just wanted to share some of the key factors, like what are the key areas where CSR spending is done. See, our topic is completely different, it's not written over there. Our topic is whether skilling, education or livelihood, what should be the focus area of the CSR. You would be surprised to know that more than 55% of the CSR spending is going towards healthcare sector or education sector, or maybe combined together. But that's not the matter that we are here for. We are here to discuss something else. And that something else is that we are a relatively younger population, younger nation compared to the other developed countries in this world. And when I talk about these younger generations, you would be surprised to know that around 64% of the population in this particular country, India, are below the age of 25. And among that age of 25, those who are working, maybe around between 15 to 19 years of age, those consist more than 50%. Now the point is that people, those who are working, they're coming out of their schools, they're coming out of their colleges and all. A study shows that more than 90% of these people are either having bookish knowledge or they don't have the required skill, maybe vocational skills applicable to this particular sector. So with this note, I believe that when we are moving towards this $5 trillion economy, we need to enhance the skill, we need to enhance the vocational educational capabilities among our youths, among our women, among our children, so that they can contribute towards the nation. So with this note, I would like to start this panel discussion from Tanya. Tanya would be sharing her experiences, how she had contributed, how our organization has done, and what is the way forward that she is seeing right now.
Hi, and thank you very much for having me here. This is a very interesting topic that we have today on our panel. It's very relevant, and each time somebody says, what is more important? Is it education? Is it skilling? Or is it livelihood? I always feel that as CSR, as CSR for any corporate, it should be inclusive education, which gives you, beyond academic skills and gives you life skills skills that you can use for your livelihood. So it really encompasses everything that is here as our topic. Speaking for the fact that, for corporate, CSR is increasingly an important place to be seen in. It's also a great crowd puller. So, and I was talking to, you previously about this, the fact that, when a consumer sees a brand in a space which is aligned with their interests, the consumer loyalty builds. And if they see that it's for genuine, a corporate that is working in that space, it continues to stay the same way. So you're building loyal consumers. And of course, CSR should not start with crowd pulling. It should have the larger cause of the society at hand. But, at Reliance, at my organization, the few things that we do in this space will also showcase to you how we work, not just with our, within our system internally, but how we partner with government bodies, how we partner with NGOs and charities in order to make a large impact. So one of the first things we do in the education space is that we work with local schools and we provide logistical, financial support. We work with the infrastructure, with teachers, and we build the teaching capacity. Beyond that, we look at building self-help groups. So we work with local communities and we ensure that they get the marketing know-how to be able to run their own livelihoods. So beyond the fact that we are providing a CSR and we're giving the financial aid, we also want them to become self-sustaining in a larger format. So there's that, and then of course the women empowerment bit that we do, which is extensive at Reliance. We work on empowering them with education, information, and for me, I run a business line within the system as well, apart from handling digital and diversity. It's called Her Circle, which is a platform, it's an app, which is meant to bridge the digital gender divide that exists. And very few rural women have access. So Her Circle, the app, is not just in English, it's also available in Hindi, and we will be expanding to other regional languages. The intent of the platform is, and it's a part of Reliance Foundation and NGO, the intent of the platform is clear. We want to give them information on policies that are available, where they can build themselves up. We have master classes, we run a lot of job opportunity related information listings, etc. And we also have them connected with healthcare. So it's a one-stop destination for women in terms of women empowerment. And that's one of the few ways in which we also partner with NGOs, charities, etc. So across board, as I said previously, it's not just a crowd puller. CSR for us is really a meaningful cause, something that we work with in the space of education, in the space of skill building, in the space of livelihoods, and beyond. We also look at sports, etc. So, yes, that's that's something that I think is it really takes care of the entire umbrella that we have as a theme today. So, hoping to have an interesting conversation beyond this as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Tanya. David, I'll come to you. So, you are teaching art skill at last SkillTech University as a professor. I know you before that when you were actually mentoring the corporates in different innovation related kind of thing. See, what do you see? I mean, what is your view? I'm not asking you any question. Just enlighten the audiences that what you see in India, how we are doing, what we are doing, what could be the gap. You can include all those things. That's up to you.
Question to the audience. When you look at the CSR situation in India, do you see the glass as half full or half empty? How many would raise your hand and say, I see it as half full? Okay. How many would raise your hand and say, I see it as half empty? All right. We love the positive view. And I get in a lot of trouble because I come from a different country, although ab mein desi hoon. But I come from a different country where we tend to be very direct and very frank, and we don't stay away from saying things that might not be positive. So I've offended a lot of people without meaning to. Well, I want to compliment our country we are doing a great job of bringing more and more CSR efforts. And so, but at the same time, I'm not going to say the glass is half empty because that would be negative. I'm going to say we can make it even fuller. So some of the statistics that Rajesh gave you that relate to this issue of education, skills, and livelihoods. Every year in this country, we give birth to 2 CR of new babies. Every year in this country, we create 20 lakhs of livelihoods. That's a deficit of 1.8 CR livelihoods every year. All the countries of the world, especially in what they call the first world, are having declining birth rates. Ours is still healthy. All of those countries in 15, 20 years are going to have tremendous labor deficits. Guess which country is going to have a labor surplus? Hamara Bharat. Okay? But the gap that we want to fill is that we need to have these young people, as they come of age and start working, we need to have them ready to be value creators. And this is an issue where the glass is maybe half full, and there's a lot more to do. Why is education at all levels so important? Okay, our institution, Atlas, teaches at the post-secondary. We offer UG, PG, and PhD programs. We operate, and we are very strong on school social responsibility. From the time they enter our programs, we make our students go out and take part in the community. If you were here this morning, you heard my colleague, Dr. Aditi Misra, talk about our Center of Excellence for Sustainability. We have collaborated with the Maharashtra Skilling Council and trained in our fashion design school community ladies in being seamstresses. So we're into CSR just as all of you are. But none of us alone is at scale. So just let me talk for a second, and I promise I won't go long, about the strategic importance of education. We are at the point, if not already, having surpassed our giant neighbor to the north in population. I think if it's not true yet, any day it will be. We're number one. We have the most people in the world. And I often say India has the greatest HR manpower pool of any country in the world. But to me, it's a crime that we don't do a better job of equipping and exploiting that for the benefit of the country. I read an article recently that compared our neighbor to the north with our nation. And we are ahead of them in many ways. But the point made in the article was China, from a very backward position, made the necessary investments to prepare for national GDP growth, and they achieved it. What were those basic investments? Basic education and healthcare. If you provide those, livelihoods will come. So all those of you who are involved in education and skilling, fantastic. Those of you who are not yet involved, try to tie in. Maybe if you're working in electrification or whatever, tie it to education. The payoff for India will be great. I'll close with one of my little mantras. I come from a country which has a very strong tradition of community-based education. A town provided a school for the town's children. In India, education was in shortage, and that created competition. You and I, the people who are blessed and fortunate to be in the upper income, we do a great job of getting our children educated. In the rural sector, it's people like Tanya, and it's people like the others and you who are making that happen. But I often like to say this. Rural educated India will become educated when Mr. and Mrs. Sharma in the city start seeing it as their responsibility to make sure that the little Nagarajan children in rural Tamil Nadu also get education. For the time being, you in the CSR field and we bridge that gap. We give the population of India away without taking it personally. We give them away through the 2% CSR mandate to start making sure that the little Nagarajan children or the little Singh children in Punjab or wherever are educated. So I'm happy to be in that, and I hope you're also happy to be contributing to the development of education, skilling, and livelihoods.
Thank you, David. That reminded me one time back that one study also said that in next 15 years, the industrialized economies, industrialized labor forces from the developed countries is going to decline by 4%. But in the same time, in next 15 years, we are expecting a jump of 30%. So probably we are heading towards the right direction. So with that note, I would come to you, Chirag. What is your view in this particular scenario? What do you feel, or what do you think that we are heading towards, and what is the gap?
Thanks for this opportunity. I'm very much in agreement with what Tanya shared and what David shared earlier. So for us, we also don't view these as different spaces like education, skilling, livelihood. Essentially, what is education? Education is about empowering students with certain skills so that eventually they go out there, solve problems of the society, and contribute meaningfully and get resources generated for the country. And our program is basically focused on developing these skills very early on in children, wherein they learn to critically think, problem solve, and apply whatever they learn in real life. And so when I see this topic, I see that because different students are at different phases in their lives. Some are graduating and possibly their need is skilling and livelihood, and some are in school, and that's where we need to probably bring in more understanding in terms of how skilling can happen at the school level. Also in alignment with what David shared, and he actually hit the nail on the head when he said that so we can be an economic powerhouse. I mean, there's no doubt about it. India has all the making. We see the kind of ventures coming out of India, the kind of funding that is coming in, the kind of entrepreneurship that is evolving in Bangalore, Mumbai, different hubs now. So I feel I think it's just how we provide, because India is a large land space, like different states, different needs, different level of growth, and we need to provide for those specific needs, those specific challenges that there are. And I think once we kind of create those solutions, it becomes like India is destined to kind of create wealth, not just for the own country, but solve a lot of global challenges the world is facing with.
Thank you, Chirag. Mitali, I'll come to you because you are from a very different background. You work in the area of communications and all. No specific questions. Share me about your views. I mean, see, many people do many things. I mean, many projects, many interventions, many other approaches and all everything. But just wanted to, ask you one thing. If you could include what I'm trying to, put you in a question, that from a communication perspective, how do you see that the local connect or maybe the interventions, how this can be reached to the real stakeholders while we can connect to the larger audiences, and how the impact through communication can be measured or can be created in a better way?
Thank you, Rajesh. So I have been listening to a lot of people today, and like you said, I'm not directly a practitioner of the whole CSR world. I'm a communication expert, and one of the things I've been hearing everybody talk about, so different foundations, different social projects are there, government initiatives are there, skill development, education, women empowerment, health, hygiene, there are a lot of things that people are doing, and they're doing it really well. And like David said, we are a large country, and there is potential to grow this infrastructure and, take the, people forward. But what I think maybe some of you have missed, or maybe it's something as a group we can think about, is that at the core of it, what we're attempting to do is bring a behavior change. You can build lots of schools, you can build lots of toilets, you can build, a lot of job development institutes. People still might not come. People still might not see value in it. The fact is that even though India has like a huge percentage of government schools which are for free, children still drop out. Every month, girls drop out because of menstruation. So there is the need also is about behavior change, and what I think a lot of people sometimes overlook is that you can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it. So how will we do that? That's the challenge. And like what Rajesh, you just asked me, how do you scale it? How can communication reach all kinds of stakeholders? I think we need to use the lens of how can my communication be more effective, which means whether it's a literature or a brochure or a, audiovisual, you have to create it with the lens of behavior change. And I'll give you an example. Before this panel, the Art of Living was talking about water conservation and river, right? We all know that water is depleting, but we don't really do anything about it. Now, the same thing, I'm aware there was a campaign done by an ad agency where they they actually put 6-7 bottles and had just that amount of water which was there from a percentage point of view, which was there in the river. So you see a Bisleri bottle, but you see 3% of water, and it says Ganga only 6% left. What happens is communication. That's the power of communication. And when people like us in a mall or in a city saw that, they suddenly got scared because, that's much water has depleted from our rivers. That's manifestation of what you're trying to say. So I think the CSR community has not truly leveraged how communication can be made more effective. Two things that I believe we should look at as a group. One is purpose-driven partnership, because there are a lot of people doing a lot of different things, and the world will not change with one person or with one organization. We could all come together and we could develop a network where everybody is collaborating with each other. I think that from an outsider's point of view, I see that a huge gap in the whole industry. And then therefore skill development, education, livelihood, all of them are connected. The other being using communication to bring behavior change. I will give you another example. This was for financial literacy for women in the rural area. Now, in India, a lot of women do not have a bank account. And no matter how much you tell them, first, they don't have money, they're not earning. And even if they have a little bit of money, the money goes to the man of the house. He has the account. There's probably just one account, and maybe a lot of families don't even have an account. So no matter how much a bank would communicate, there are still very low penetration of bank accounts in the country. So what we did was we created a campaign called Shagun Ka Lifafa, which, if you know, in India, it's a custom to give an envelope during marriage, right? You put like 101 rupee in it and stuff like that. Now that envelope actually comes to the woman. And when she opened it, it from outside looks like a regular marriage envelope, but actually, it was a bank account form, and it encouraged women to sign up for the account, right? Like the money that they get from the marriages. Now, simple communication, but it's effective. Why? Because you've demonstrated something. I think the community is not leveraging the power of storytelling and communication. It needs to be demonstrated, and it needs to bring a change. So those two things is what I would,
Thank
put on the
you.
table.
Nabanita, I'll come to you. What are your views on that?
Thank you very much, Rajesh. Thank you, host. See, there are different perspectives of, skilling, education, livelihood in India perspective. Now, what I believe is, skilling is, something which is a cross-cutting area. In education, if we take it up, maybe primary education or secondary education or higher education, everywhere skilling is very important. Coming to the livelihood part of women, be it for women, be it for youth, be it for entrepreneurs, there also you need skilling. So that's the, excellence, part of excellence, which is very important. So how much have I learned and where I need to go? So first of all, while working, and I will just give you one of the examples that we are doing as a part of the V Foundation team in village, while doing a village level planning with government of Odisha in Anugul. There we found that PRI system is already having, a Gram Panchayat development plan, which also has skilling, which has education, which has livelihood as part of their PRI structure. But when it comes to, cohesively working on one particular mission, that is development, that's not happening. So how we barged in, we supported the government by telling them that what are the activities you feel you have to do as part of Gram Panchayat development plan. And then we initiated household level micro plans. Through the household level micro plans, we strengthened families. When you strengthen families, you know that the families, be it the head of the family or be the woman, everybody will know that how am I left behind? What is that I don't know? And how to come out of this, circle of mine, be it education, be it health, be it livelihood, be it whatever which is concerning that particular family. So household level micro plans is something which is very important for holistic development of a village. That's how we talk of, migration. We want to reduce the migration from rural to urban. So, but we need to have that strategy in mind. How do we want that change to happen? Are we really thinking about a strategy which will really help a family? Or we are only stuck with skilling, education, livelihood and, and only thinking as a silo or a thematic area of us? What I believe is here is where, collaboration needs to happen. So we were hearing a lot of partnership. If you talk of, sustainable development goals, since I come from UN, so we know, UN SDG 17 talks about partnership. So here we talk of what kind of partnership? Is it a partnership between corporate to corporate? Is it a partnership between corporate to NGOs? Is it a partnership between corporate to, government? Any partnership you take it's important for a development of any particular place in India. The strata and the problems that we face, it's more or less the same. How are we prepared? It's not a triangle. I would say you should also bring in UN into, the system. You should bring in academia into the system. We should bring in, other universities into the system. Whoever we feel is important for that particular change to bring, we have to bring those people into the system. That's how the system change. That's how the village strengthening happens. That's how the skilling happens. That's how we excel.
Thank you.
So that's what I believe.
Thank you, Nabanita. Before we wind up, just 30 seconds. David and Tanya. Small examples. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Any specific example that you want to give? Like in skilling, in education, what you have done in a career?
The one I'm most familiar with is Vineet Nair's.
Okay, can I interrupt? I just want to make an announcement. From 4:20 p.m. to 4:40 p.m. there will be a siren going outside and the elevators will stop working. This is just a drill. Do not panic. It's a part of safety protocols at Bombay Stock Exchange. You may continue with your example, sir. Don't panic. Yeah, the siren will go on. I'm sorry, that's a drill. It won't happen inside, but outside you will hear the siren.
We have to wind up in 30 seconds. Yes, David.
Okay, well, how can I compete with that? Vineet Nair's Sampark Foundation, they're scaling. They're an example of scaling elementary education skilling teachers to do English education when many of the teachers hardly speak any English. It's effective. And what I want to say is our approach to CSR. We're in a good place. I saw some of the videos. I know that Reliance is doing this. I know that some of the others. But we're doing it from a humble position rather than paternalistic. We're the great white fathers. We know the old days. We know what you need. Here, do this. That doesn't work. The idea of bringing in collaborative solution development, making sure that the people who are the community of need, we respect their skills and advantages, and we leverage what they do. When we do it on the scene, collaboratively, rather than in a dictatorial or paternalistic way, it works much better.
We are done, and Tanya, would you like to say something or wind up? Just a small example, 10 seconds.
So I think, one, I'll have to overpower that sound, and I will. What I wanted to say was when you spoke about it, Mitali, when you said storytelling is very important. I want to bring to light a story that we had done on Denganmal, the region. This is in Maharashtra, where there is such a water crisis that women have to walk for miles on end to reach one well, and then there is clamor, absolute clamor. There is no water there, and hence men commit polygamy, which means there are pani bais or water wives that they have, in that region. And when we did that story, no one knew of it as her circle when we did the story. We are a part of course, Reliance, and Reliance came forward to support and help. But the way the story was told, we had Sonali Kulkarni tell it in Marathi, we had a Hindi variant of it, and we put it out there for the world to know. So many NGOs, organizations, foundations came forward. Today the situation and the impact is, and we have of course won an award as Her Circle, but the impact has been such that now that issue has been resolved. Water is reaching them in tankers, etc. So storytelling is a large part of it. And I also feel collaboration is a very big part of it, because alone as Reliance also, even though we are a humongous conglomerate, we couldn't pull it off till we had the regional support of government bodies, till we had them take notice of it and start exercising that option of giving them pipelines, water tankers, and hopefully that custom of pani bais will also stop.
Thank you, Tanya. So with that note, we are winding up this session, and I think any question from the audience is only one.
We can take only one question. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone. So the panel, thank you for the enlightening insights. I have just one question, not to any particular member but to the whole panel. For the last 2 years I was working with the Skill Development Ministry of Maharashtra, Government of India at a district level. So government also has a number of initiatives and policies for the skill development. But as I have seen it from the ground level, I could easily see the suboptimal use of resources, and the objective was not being achieved. So corporate or CSR field, how can we contribute, or what is the opportunity for the CSR ecosystem to address the situation or the problem?
Chirag, would you like to take that?
I just the other day read an amazing story that comes from the country of Greece. And the CSR issue they were dealing with was refugees fleeing the poor and war-torn countries of Africa, wanting to get into Europe and ending up in Greece, their first stop. So the issue was, what do you do with all of these refugees crowding the space and the government of Greece being economically crippled and not able to do everything they could? Oh, it's so annoying. The moral of the story, sir, was that individuals in that group, in that refugee group, stepped forward and contributed their skills. Local residents contributed their skills, and the needs were alleviated. No government organized them. They emerged spontaneously. And they did far more and far better than the government could do. If the attitude is step back and let the government take care of it, nothing will happen. You are all members of the CSR community. There is room for everything you're doing times 100. So, don't hold back for a fear of lack of coordination. There is a need for every effort you want to put in. Encourage more people to get involved and do what they can. And don't wait for somebody to come in from the top and direct it. Grassroots programs often are far more effective.
Thank you, David.
Thank
so
you
with
so
that
much.
note, we are ending up this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I request the panel to please stay here, and I would like our Managing Director, Shri Rahul Jain, to come up on stage to felicitate this August panel, starting with Mr. Rajesh Das. Can we have the memento, please?